Hey everyone, I'm back again today with the same Hero Arts October 2019 card kit. I know, I'm getting tired of it too, which is why this is the last tutorial I'll be making with this kit. I do have another card that I'll be showing at the end that I used with the kit and add-ons, but I'm not going to actually do a tutorial on it because, like I said, I think we're all getting tired of videos of this kit. It is still available, so if you are interested, you can go over to Hero Arts and get it. So yeah, this one I wanted to show you just because it's a fireplace scene card, and I wanted to show you how I did the fire inside and how I did the whole scene. So I thought this would be a fun one to show you. Thank God I used a Misty machine because, as you could see, or Misty tool, that's not a machine, I needed to stamp it twice in the same spot. So I'm doing the same old of masking and stamping. You've seen it before in the last few videos I've done. I forgot to cut out a paper mask to do this present, so I'm using liquid masking stuff. I don't even know what it is. I do a freeze scene somewhere in here showing you the brand and what it is and everything. But I'm just painting that on and letting it dry because I'd already started the video and I didn't feel like taking the time to stop and cut it out and start again. So just masking all the presents. I hope you can't hear that. I have elf slippers on with a bunch of bells on it. I should have probably taken them off before I got started doing the voiceover. Oh well. And just more boring masking. Ooh, you guys are going to like the next card I do. The next card I do is going to be Snoopy. So if you guys are Peanuts fans like I am, then I think you'll enjoy the next card that I'm going to be doing. What am I doing? So well no, this is the second to last. This is the tree, and then I will be adding a clock from the kit at the top there. And I'm taking that liquid masking fluid again and just adding it to all the little dots and the face of the clock and the hands, because I want to color those like a gray color to kind of make it look silvery for the time period, since this is like a 1950s scene card. So there it is. It's Pebeo. Is that how you say it? Pebeo. You'll see here when I remove the mask that part of the fireplace is not on there, and that is because I was not taking an X-Acto knife and cutting the inside of that wreath out. So I will show you what I did to correct that. It was done on purpose, but I had a reason for it. So these are the colors I'll be using to do the fireplace with, but before I color the fireplace, I take my Copic multi-liner in 0.3. And it is Copic safe, obviously. So I just fill in the inside of that wreath area and create my own slate look, or rocks, whatever it is. And it's super easy. You just draw random oddly shaped circles and ovals and other odd shapes, and it just blends right in. Like, if I didn't tell you guys and just showed you the end result, you would probably just think that I got the X-Acto knife out. So I'm just taking my lightest color, my lightest gray, which is C2, and I am just going over the entire fireplace just to give it that base color, which this base color is actually going to be seen like, is it the mortar? Like the mortar between the rocks, that's going to be this color. So it's not like a huge thing, but you'll still see it. Not like my other ones where I just color right over top of all of it. So now I'm just taking C4, C6, and C8, and I am just randomly going over rocks to give them different colors. Like basically any fireplace with this kind of look would be. Like they're not, all the rocks aren't the same color. Hope I can get my coffee in my mouth without you guys hearing. Well, I know you guys heard me putting it down. But yeah, I am glad to be done with this little, I guess, mini series. Like, this kit is really fun and everything, but I've been making other cards and I've been wanting to show you guys the other cards. I think that's why it's taken me so long to get another video up. It's because I'm like, I don't want to edit that one. Hopefully you can't hear my dog. He is being really annoying. Okay. So I am still coloring the fireplace. Oh, I don't know what I was saying before my dog started going insane. He's a Pomeranian and he is very, very yappy. And it's like he thinks he owns the neighborhood. So if my neighbors come home and he sees their headlights, he starts going berserk. He's like, I don't know who you are, but get away from my house. Which is really annoying. Especially at night when his dad is still at work. It's like he's waiting for him to come home. And I'm like, oh my god. So every car or any person walking outside or anything, he hears. It's crazy because we live on over half an acre of land and our house is like more towards the back of that land, and yet he still hears everybody. So, yeah. And where was I? It takes a while to do this. The fireplace is probably the hardest part of the card. But this card really is like a showstopper, or is that what they say, showstopper? I don't know. I think just because like the dimension of the fireplace, the way I color it, it makes it kind of look like it's the center part that's coming out. Kind of like a 3D look. And then I did a glow on the floor to like actually make it look like there was a fireplace glow. So yeah, let's see. Snoopy card is next, and then I have another card already made. It's like a hot chocolate card, hot chocolate coffee Christmas card. I think it's by Sunny Studio. I think that's the stamp set I used. I've had that stamp set for years. Same with the Snoopy stamps. I've had those for years too and never used them. Even though I'm like a huge Snoopy fan. I kind of went back through my stash and I was like, I want to use some of the stuff that I already have and just never got around to it. Oh, and here is where I shade around that point to make it look like the fireplace is coming out, like out of the page. So I just take the darkest, which was C8, I believe. Yeah, C8. And then take the C6, blend, and then the C4 and blend again. And then I kind of go back and forth with those three colors until I get it exactly how I want it. And then I'm just taking that those 3 markers and touching up any of the stones that might have gotten blended out too much for my liking, and just adding that color back in. Why does it look like I forgot to color the bottom right part of the fireplace? I have a picture on my phone. I need to look. And here I'm taking E59, E57, and C6, and this is what I use to color the logs inside the fireplace, except for the C6 was too light, so I think I went up to C8 or C10. Oh my, I actually did. I forgot to. So I never actually colored the bottom part of that fireplace, the bottom right, to the C8 color. So I guess you guys know what I'll be doing when I'm done here. I can't believe I did that. Silly me. So I wanted to add the C8 to the top of the logs, like where the flames were. Just to give it, like, because you know obviously wood turns dark, like sooty or whatever when it's burnt. So I wanted to give it that illusion. And those colors right there that were in the freeze frame, you can like pause it or just look at it or whatever, write it down. Those are the colors that I'm using for the flames. It's mostly just blends of reds, oranges, and yellows. And so what I did was I basically just took the red and started out with the red coming up, and then I took the oranges and blended those in, and then I took the yellows and blended those because I wanted everything blended nicely, kind of like fire. And then I put like a yellow hue, like a glowing hue around it, just so, like, because the fireplace is lit up from it. But it's not necessarily going to be oranges or anything, so yellow is the color I used. And I also, in those top corners, I used one of the grays because I wanted it to still like look like the inside of the fireplace. And then I took one of the yellow markers and went over that gray a little bit. That way it's kind of dark, I don't know, shadows. I have no idea. I'm no expert here. I'm just a girl fiddling around with her Copic markers and hoping for the best. And I just keep going back and forth with it until I like what I see. That's kind of how I am with my Copics. I just keep playing with it until I've either ruined the paper and have to throw it away, or it comes out looking how I want it to look. And so for then those like little flames in the center, I just take the same colors and go from red to yellow, like going from the bottom up. And here is where I take that yellow marker and go around the edges and hit that gray area. And I take G46, G40, and G43 for my tree. I've colored this tree, this is probably, what, the third time? Third, fourth, something like that. And I color it the same way I did on all the others. I lay down the G40, and then I take the G43 and whatever that other one was, and I just make slash marks on it to make it look like pine needles, because I didn't want to just color it in and blend it or whatever, because then that's not looking like an actual tree. So doing like the little slash marks makes it look like pine needles. And then I just go over it. What is that color? I'm trying to see if I can see. I don't know. I'm coloring too fast. Fast forwarded. This video was 2 hours and 9 minutes long. So 33 minutes seems like a long time for a video, but trust me, It's a lot shorter than it was. And then I just take these colors and make these the color of my ornaments, like I've done in the other videos. Like I said, I mostly just wanted to show you the fireplace coloring, because you've seen me color these trees and these presents before in other videos, so nothing's really changed. I keep getting distracted. That's why I'm not talking much, is because I'm trying to look down here and see if, because I had to mute the microphone while I told my dog to kindly shut up. So I'm wondering if I'm actually talking over this video or if I'm not. I guess I'll find out at the end. And when I color the reds in this video, like the red packages and the red on the wreath, I realized I was out of frame for over half of it, so I just cut out the coloring of the red completely. But like I said, all this, you've seen me color before. It's nothing new. So I didn't feel too bad for cutting that out. And if you are new and this is the first video you've seen, you can just go back and look at the last 2 videos and you'll see how I color using the red markers. So I was trying to create a golden effect on these ornaments, but I used the wrong colors, which is why I don't bother showing you what colors I used, because it was incorrect. So I'm using YG23 and YG17, and I'm just using that on the presents. I just use whatever Copic colors I have. And I'm sure that's what y'all are going to do, is just use the ones that you have. Because Copic, or the present's going to be colored whatever you want. So, have you guys decorated for Christmas yet? Because that's actually another reason why I haven't been posting any videos. I have decked out over here. I have my entire front of my house completely decked out in Christmas lights. And mind you, I only have 2 receptacles to plug all my lights in, and I don't know how I did it. I have probably over 10 extension cords outside right now. It's just insane, and so I don't know how I did it. I'm going to have to take pictures for next year, because I'm not going to remember how I have everything plugged in. For these blue boxes, or blue presents, I'm using B01 and B04. But yes, and then we have already put up the tree, we've put up all the Christmas decorations inside. I just need to clean up and put like boxes back up at the attic, and then it'll look nice. But yeah, my husband took his vacation last week? Yeah, last week, and so we just spent his whole vacation cleaning and putting up the Christmas decorations and trying to get everything ready for the holidays. And for these presents, I am using V05 and V06. And, well, for the bow, I only used V05 and V06. And the present, I added in V09 too, for the dark shade. And then for the pink boxes, I am using RV23, RV25, and RV29. So for Christmas gifts, I'm giving my family like actual, gifts. But then I'm also, since I've been crafting so much this year for some reason, and so I made these boxes like that hold A2 size cards, and I put 5 cards in each box and with the envelopes, and I'm going to give those as gifts. And then I bought some cellophane bags and a little bag topper thing, so I was going to like create a little mix of candies and give it to them. Well, I bought a bag topper die, and then I'll create my own bag topper and put it on there. And then I bought some notebooks off of Amazon. They're like craft notebooks. Like they're actual notebook paper inside, but like the back and the front is like really hard craft cardboard or whatever. And so I was gonna shabby chic some notebooks for people, and then put those in cellophane bags and give them to. We'll have to see if I have enough time. I have the ideas in my head, but you know, running your own business and then trying to do videos and then clean, there's just a lot going on. So I know for sure that they'll get the packs of cards and they'll get the candies. No, something else I was going to do too. Something crafty. Give these gifts. I don't remember. I'll probably remember as soon as I get off this video. I might do like a quick short video showing the stuff that I'm giving as gifts. I'm not gonna do like a tutorial video on it. Number one, because the card box is not my original idea. I watched somebody else's video and used their measurements, and you know, I did use designer series paper instead of like stamping for the decoration on the outside, but it's their idea, so I'm not going to do a video on somebody else's idea. But I could do like a short video showing you the stuff, and then tell you whose video it is. So if you want to do it, you can go over there and look at it too. And so now I have masked everything, and I'm putting it inside my Misty tool, and I'm using whatever that background stamp was that I showed you in the beginning. And I'm using Lemon Lime Twist by Stampin' Up. This is, I think, a retired color, but you can use any color. You don't even have to make the wall green. You can make it blue, pink, purple, whatever. Just let your creativity design it for you. So I inked that up like a few times because for some reason it's like some certain spots were not inking. I think I actually stood up and was like pounding on that thing. I was like, stamp! And then I take my, what is it, world-changing or life-changing blender brush tool, whatever they're calling it these days, by Picket Fence, and I'm just shading over the top. So it gives it like a two-tone effect with using the same exact color. And that is my 1950s wallpaper for this card. And now the fun part of removing all the masking tape and fluid. I don't know why I said fluid so weird. It's like fluid. And then you have to take like a adhesive eraser, I think that's what they're called, to remove the dried masking fluid off of the packages. And I will say in this video, like in real life, when you put the masking fluid on, you do have to wait a hot minute for it to dry. So, but of course I cut that out and sped through. That way you didn't have to watch masking fluid dry. But don't just, if you want to try it and you get it home, and don't just put it on and then start stamping on it. It's not going to work, and you'll get fluid all over your stamps. And also another tip for you, before you go to remove the masking fluid, take like your chamois or whatever and wipe on top of the masking fluid to get the watered droplet ink, like the ink that's on top of it, off, or else when you go to erase the masking fluid, it'll smear the ink on your actual paper. I learned that the hard way, but I made it work anyways. And here are the colors that I use for my floor, as you've seen in one of the videos. Yeah. That clock I actually colored too dark. I used C6 and I should have used C4, so if you're wanting to replicate this card, use C4. But I went with it because it's the only option I had unless I wanted to throw this away, which I was not doing. So I just lay my base color down, which is E55, yeah, E55, and I'm taking Y18, and I'm creating that glow on the floor to make it look, you know, like in a real scene of a fireplace where it puts out a glow on the floor. I don't know why I'm explaining everything like this. I'm being weird tonight. I'm sorry. And then I just take my E55 and go back over it. I do a lot of shading and everything with that area. And then I go back in with the yellow and really saturate my paper. But I really wanted it to, like, I wanted the colors to blend. I just didn't want one area to be yellow and the other area to be brown. That's not realistic at all. So yeah, as you can see, I was really saturating. And take note that I did all of that first before I put my dark colors on, because if you do it after, then it's just going to blend out all your lines on your hardwood floor. So then I take my ruler and create my lines for the hardwood. And I have figured out that you want to, because I remember for this from art class, I don't know why I didn't do it in the first card like this. Make your boards towards the back smaller and then make them bigger because that's more realistic. And then I'm adding my lines in for like the planks of wood. And I was going to say something and now I don't remember what it was. It was a shame. But here I am just taking my E59 and doing my squiggle marks to create a hardwood floor pattern. At least I hope it looks like a hardwood floor pattern to you all. And I have found that this is actually so easy. Like when I first learned how to do this, I thought it was going to be like super duper hard. I'd never get it. I was not going to be able to have hardwood. I would always have to use hardwood pattern paper if I wanted it, but it is so easy. Just let your hand take control and just flow over the paper and it works fine. Just make sure you have a light pressure. Don't do big dark lines with heavy pressure because it doesn't look as good. I don't remember what I was going to say. That bugs me to death. Does it bug everybody else when you know you're about to say something and then you got carried away and I can't remember what it was? Who knows? And then I am just adding dark shading towards like the bottom of the wall and the top of the floor because it kind of breaks up the floor and the wall and it makes it look more realistic to me. And then I just add dark shading at like where planks begin and end and all that. And then I forgot to shade into the presents. Don't forget the presents. Because, oh my jingly bells. But yeah, the presents will add a shadow on the floor. And then I take the light color again and go over the floor. And I actually did have to take my dark E59 and go back over the wood grain on the floor because it made it a little too light after I went over it again with yellow. But that was super simple to do. I about said imple. You guys ever do that? You combine words. I was about to say easy and simple and imple about came out. Now try not to add any dark shading in front of the fireplace because I knew that that wouldn't be as realistic. And then I am done with my coloring and I just add it to the front of the card. That's what I was going to say. Okay, so this is not a regular A2 size card. I didn't like how the fireplace, like it was, I wanted it to touch the top of the card. Here I'm just stamping a sentiment and my hand cut it out, as you'll see. So I wanted the card to be a little shorter, that way the floor was shorter. I didn't want that big honking area of floor like in that first card that I showed you using this kit. So I cut it down to, so it's 5 1/4 by 4? I don't remember. Anyways, I just took like 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. You don't even have to do that if you don't want to. That's just what I decided to do, just to make it shorter. So I just popped that up on 3M tape and placed that on the floor. And for the inside, I just used the same stamp I'm always using, the Merry Christmas, and add those little stars around the sentiment. And place that inside the card, and you want to make sure to do that first because we're going to be using Nuvo drops, and I think it's called a silver lining or something like that, and I just add that to all the little circles on the clock and the clock hands. I didn't add it to the center because I didn't want to cover up the black lines of the clock hands, so I just added it to the little dots, and that's why I say use C4, don't use C6 if you're wanting to do this. And then I flicked it on the back to like, I didn't want the Nuvo drops to be pointy. I wanted them to be more round and dome-like. So if you flick it on the back a couple of times, then it kind of flattens it out a little bit. And so then I'm just adding my Wink of Stella to the center of the clock, the wreath and presents and tree. Because you know me, I go insane with my glitter stuff. And then I'm just taking a glue dot and adding my little star. And that basically concludes this video. So don't forget to like and subscribe. If you hit the little bell next to the subscribe button, you'll get notifications when I put a new video out, so you won't miss them, especially the next one, because the next one's a Snoopy one, so it's really cool and fun. And then here I'm going to show you the card I did before, and then also the card that I will not be videotaping using this kit and add-ons, if I can get it. My sweater there says bite me, and it's like gingerbread men with missing chunks of gingerbread menness. So there's that other card. It is the cat card. I'm actually going to be giving that to my husband because it's like he loves cats. So that's the cards for today, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.